I never thought I'd see the day when my own family, the people who swore they would always have my back, would turn on me in the most cruel and calculated way. And the way I found out? Well, it's the kind of betrayal that cuts so deep, it feels like your chest is being torn open from the inside. I'm still haunted by the memory, by the coldness in their eyes when they thought I would never know. But I did know. And when I did, I realized that the only way to reclaim my life, my dignity, and my sanity was to make them regret every single thing they tried to do to me. Have you ever been betrayed by your own blood, by the people you trusted the most? Because that's what happened to me, and I promise you it's worse than any stranger could ever hurt you. It all started a few months before the incident that changed everything. I had always been close to my family, or at least I thought I was. My parents were the kind who demanded perfection but promised love in return. My older brother, Raj, was the golden child, the one who could do no wrong, the one who got all the praise and attention growing up. My younger sister, Priya, was the peacemaker, the quiet one who rarely stirred trouble. And then there was me, the middle child, always trying to balance everyone's expectations, always careful not to upset anyone. I worked hard in college, got decent grades, and landed a stable job straight out of university. I was proud of myself, but apparently, my achievements were invisible to them when it came to family politics. Everything seemed fine on the surface, but there were always little cracks, little signs that something wasn't right. I remember the subtle whispers when I walked into the room. She thinks she's so smart. Why does she get so much attention? That I brushed off as normal sibling teasing. But there was a tension, a coldness in their smiles, a hidden contempt I couldn't quite place. It was the kind of tension you can feel without hearing a word. And I ignored it because I wanted to believe in my family. I wanted to believe that no matter what, we would always protect each other. Then came the day that changed everything. It was a typical Saturday afternoon, and I had decided to surprise everyone by coming home early from work. I knew my parents would be busy with errands, Raj would be out with his friends, and Priya would probably be in her room doing something on her laptop. I wanted to spend some time with them, maybe help with lunch, maybe just sit and talk like old times. When I got home, the house was unusually quiet. I shrugged it off at first, thinking everyone must be out somewhere. But then, as I stepped into the living room, I noticed something strange. My laptop, which I always kept in my room, was open on the coffee table, and there was a folder on the screen labeled Plan A. My curiosity got the better of me, and I couldn't resist opening it. What I saw made my stomach drop and my heart pound like I'd never felt before. There were emails, messages, and notes, plans to completely humiliate me, to cut me out of the family legacy, and to manipulate my life for their own benefit. Raj and my parents had been conspiring for months. Every financial decision I thought we had agreed on, every support I thought I had from them, was actually part of a larger scheme to make me fail. Priya, whom I had trusted, was part of it too. She had been feeding them information about me, pretending to be on my side while secretly undermining me. Every secret I thought was safe, every confidence I had shared, had been weaponized against me. I sat there for what felt like hours, reading their messages, watching their plans unfold on my screen. They were talking about how to manipulate my career, how to isolate me socially, and even how to humiliate me in front of extended family during an upcoming festival gathering. They laughed in their messages about how easy it would be to make me look like the failure they always wanted me to be. And the worst part? They had been doing it under the guise of helping me, offering advice, guidance, and support while secretly sabotaging every move I made. I didn't react immediately. I couldn't. I just sat there, my mind spinning, trying to process the sheer depth of their betrayal. I felt numb, hollowed out, like someone had stripped the air from the room and left me gasping. And then the anger started to build. It started as a simmer, a quiet heat in my chest, but soon it became a wildfire that consumed every ounce of fear and doubt I had. I realized then that I couldn't let this go. I couldn't let them win. I had to act, and I had to act carefully. Over the next few weeks, I became a master of patience and observation. I watched them closely, taking note of their routines, their weaknesses, the small cracks in their armor. I didn't confront them, I didn't argue, and I didn't give them any hint that I knew. Instead, I meticulously planned my move, like a chess player preparing for the final checkmate. I gathered evidence of their schemes, recorded conversations where they spoke about me behind my back, and documented every financial manipulation and lie. Every detail mattered. Every tiny piece of proof would become part of their undoing. At the same time, I started building my own independent strength. I increased my savings, strengthened my professional network, and quietly developed skills that would allow me to move out and live independently if I had to. I wasn't just preparing for revenge, I was preparing to reclaim my life, to take back everything they had tried to steal from me. And the more I prepared, the more I realized just how deep the betrayal ran. This wasn't a simple sibling rivalry or parental favoritism. It was a calculated, cruel attempt to break me, to humiliate me, and to erase my presence from the family. The pivotal moment came when I discovered that they had planned a major family gathering, the kind of event where everyone would be present: cousins, aunts, uncles, everyone. Their plan was to publicly shame me, to make me look incompetent, irresponsible, and ungrateful. They had even coordinated with extended family members, telling them to subtly criticize me, to ask embarrassing questions, and to make me feel small. And Priya, my own sister, was supposed to lead the friendly questioning, acting as if she was concerned while secretly pushing the knife deeper. I knew I had to act before that gathering. I couldn't allow them to humiliate me in front of everyone. So I devised my plan. I started small, undermining their credibility in ways they wouldn't immediately suspect. I exposed small lies to friends and distant relatives, planted subtle hints that made their manipulations visible, and created a sense of doubt about their motives. And then, the day of the gathering arrived. I walked into that house with a calm smile, dressed impeccably, confident, and radiant. I knew every eye would be on me, and I was ready. Raj tried to greet me with that smug, superior look. My parents tried to offer condescending compliments, and Priya gave me that fake sisterly smile. But I didn't flinch. I didn't falter. I had rehearsed my moves mentally for weeks. During the gathering, I waited for the right moment. When they tried to start their little games, asking questions designed to embarrass me, making subtle digs at my achievements, I calmly, politely, but firmly addressed each point, using the evidence I had gathered. I revealed their schemes slowly, letting each lie unravel in front of everyone. I exposed how Raj had been manipulating family finances, how my parents had been intentionally withholding support while pretending to care, and how Priya had been feeding them information to hurt me. Each revelation was timed perfectly, allowing the room to process the betrayal gradually, building tension and shock. The expressions on their faces were priceless. Raj's smugness vanished, replaced by confusion and panic. My parents went from calm superiority to sheer embarrassment. Priya's eyes widened, and I saw the first flicker of fear as she realized the depth of my preparation. Friends and extended family members looked at them in disbelief, murmuring among themselves. I held my head high, speaking clearly, confidently, and without a trace of anger, because I knew that dignity was my ultimate weapon. By the end of the gathering, the tables had turned completely. My family, the people who had plotted against me, were now the ones facing scrutiny, doubt, and judgment. I didn't shout, I didn't scream, I didn't humiliate them in petty ways. I simply presented the truth, allowed it to speak for itself, and let their own actions be their downfall. The aftermath was immediate. Relatives whispered, friends gave sympathetic glances, and my parents and siblings were left speechless. They had underestimated me, and now they had no control over the narrative. In the weeks that followed, the dynamics in my family shifted permanently. Raj's attempts to assert dominance were ignored. My parents were more cautious, aware that their schemes could no longer work. Priya tried to reconcile, but I maintained my boundaries, teaching her that betrayal has consequences. And me, I felt a sense of liberation I had never experienced before. The anger, the fear, the anxiety, it had all transformed into empowerment. I had reclaimed my life, my dignity, and my future. Looking back, I realized that this experience taught me one of the most important lessons about life and family. Trust is precious, but so is self-respect. You can love your family deeply, but that doesn't mean you have to tolerate manipulation, cruelty, or betrayal. Standing up for yourself doesn't make you ungrateful or disloyal. It makes you strong, it makes you wise, and it ensures that those who try to harm you learn the consequences of their actions. So, if you've ever felt betrayed by someone you loved, someone you trusted, remember this. The path to justice doesn't always require confrontation in the heat of the moment. Sometimes, patience, strategy, and dignity are far more powerful than anger. And when the time is right, you can reclaim your life and let the truth speak louder than any insult, any betrayal, or any lie. If you were on my side through all of this, like this video, share this story with someone who has been betrayed, subscribe for more stories like this, stories of betrayal, revenge, and ultimate justice. And comment below, if this happened to you, what would you have done? I'll see you all in the next story.